Welcome to Durbania, I'm Durbin, and as we are entering the Christmas season, I thought it'd be fun to go and just review some fun Christmas movies. As I said last week, am I reading way too much into the story for A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens? The story of Christmas Carol is just my favorite, and all the different iterations that come out, yes, some I like better than others, but overall, I really love all the different iterations that come out for A Christmas Carol. And this one that came out, directed by Robert Zemeckis, starring Jim Carrey, like, really starring Jim Carrey. He was like Scrooge, the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future, and yeah, I thought that was incredible. Anyway, point is this is probably one of my favorite iterations of A Christmas Carol. I just like the way the story was told. It's funny because it had a darker tone to it. It had a lighter tone to it at the same time. So, I don't know. So I thought this would be a fun way to kick things off and review this movie. So, for the Jim Carrey A Christmas Carol, let's dive into those positives. First, one of the biggest positives for me is watching Jim Carrey himself. I mean, he plays Scrooge. So he also plays the younger version of himself in the Christmas past, but he also plays the ghost of Christmas past. He plays the ghost of Christmas present, and he plays the ghost of Christmas future. That one, probably not so hard, because, you know, just motion capture suit and he doesn't even have to say anything. But what was really incredible is watching him just go from character to character. Now, no matter what your feelings are on Jim Carrey, like I have a brother-in-law who adamantly does not like Jim Carrey.
Bah! Humbug.
And that's fine. And if you're in that boat, I'm not here to convince you to like Jim Carrey. I'm just saying that is a very respectable thing to see an actor in one movie play three characters and play those characters off of himself. So when he's Scrooge and he's talking to the ghost of Christmas past, and so he's got to react to that ghost has got to react to him as Scrooge. Like, you have to respect what he did there. He played three totally different characters. Well, four if you count Scrooge. Yeah, so just these totally different characters. And I thought he pulled it off really well. Scrooge was one character, and he was very Scroogey. I thought he did a good job as Scrooge. I liked his character. The first time I saw this movie, I didn't even realize that was him as the ghost of Christmas past or present. I didn't even know that was him. Looking up later, and I saw that, now I can't not see his face in those characters, but I just didn't see it at first, because I just thought he blended so well into those characters. My favorite ghost that he plays, the ghost of Christmas present. He's just such a jolly, joyous, awesome spirit with that deep laugh, and then he becomes frightening. Like, seriously. Like, how could you have a character that goes from one extreme of complete joy, laughter, fun, light, to you get towards the end of that time, and he is scary. In terms of that was really good. The animation overall is another positive for me. I just thought that animation was really slick. There were places where it wasn't, but I'll get into that in my negatives. But for, like, the main characters, when it would, like, get into their faces and you would see their emotions, like, Scrooge's face, like, the full detail and everything, like, I mean, you could just tell time and effort went into that. Gary Oldman playing Bob Cratchit, he actually played two characters. He played Marley, the ghost coming and, you know, to kick everything off, and he played Bob Cratchit. And again, we're watching an actor play different characters and playing them completely different from each other, and I think pulling it off really well. A lot of actors in this movie played multiple characters, and I thought they did an amazing job doing that. But like Gary Oldman, like his facial expressions in the animation was incredible, and my favorite scene has to be when Jim Carrey is with the ghost of Christmas future, and they're seeing the death of Tiny Tim, and everybody's mourning, and Bob is going up the stairs to go to Tiny Tim's bedroom to sit by Tiny Tim's bed where Tiny Tim's body is still there. And as Bob is walking up the stairs, he stops like halfway up and he stares at Jim Carrey, who's like sitting there on the stairs, but he can't see Jim Carrey, but he's like staring at him. And this is an animated face, but they had the red under the eyes, the tears coming down, and you could just tell they really captured the actor's facial expression there, because it was this expression of total pain. And then Jim Carrey's reaction to that, like, was incredible. So that was actually one of the amazing things about the animation in this movie. It being fully animated, allowing those actors to play all those different characters. I thought they did a great job capturing all their facial features and expressions so that you could feel the emotions and see it in their eyes. And so a lot of that I thought was really good. I did like the tone of this movie. I like this movie took a darker tone because it is a serious look at Scrooge's life and future and things like that. But there's also some funny, lighthearted things because it's Jim Carrey and it's a Christmas Carol. We want, you know, people of all ages to see it and enjoy it. So yeah, it has an overall darker tone and more serious tone, which I like, but it definitely has a lot of those lighter moments. Diving into my negatives with this movie, they're kind of few and far between, but As I said in one breath, the animation is great, and it really truly is. There are places in the animation, like some of the extras, some of the background characters, where it's like, yeah, they didn't spend as much time on their facial features. So Martha, who goes home and goes to hide and surprises Bob Cratchit for Christmas in the Ghost of Christmas Present section and things like that, there's a scene where she's like talking to him, and I felt like her lips and mouth wasn't quite right, matching with the words and things. So for all the greatness, and you can tell they spent a lot of time on some characters and maybe not on others with the animation and the facial features, and so I felt like there's places where I can really tell that. And I said I really like the tone, and I meant it when I said it, but there are some things about the tone that kind of like, okay, that's a little off. Like when Marley and Scrooge are talking, like, it's serious, it's dark, and then all of a sudden his jaw breaks, he's like, blah, 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 blah. And it reminded me a little bit of Scrooge, like it was really trying to break the barrier of, oh, we've been super dark. Okay, now let's be really funny. Now we're back to super dark. Like that was a little crazy the way they did that. It wasn't bad though. It didn't ruin it. It didn't take me out, but I do notice it when we get there, where they wildly shift that tone from giving kids nightmares to, hey, look how funny it is, but it's still creepy and your kids will still have nightmares with that scene. And then the other thing was in the Ghost of Christmas Future scene where Jim Carrey they have this whole chase scene and he's running from the Ghost of Christmas Future, and the Ghost of Christmas Future cracks his whip and Jim Carrey shrinks down to like the size of an ant, like Ant-Man, and he's running through the alleys. Like, I felt like that whole scene, it was very slapsticky, and I felt like it was just there to bump up the runtime. I don't know if something like that's in the book. If it is, I'm looking forward to reading the book this year to see things like that, but it feels like, even if it was in the book, it felt like in this movie, it was just there to bump up runtime, and every time I watch it, I feel like it's just too long. Jim Carrey running from the Ghost of Christmas Future, and then they finally get into the future events that they show Jim Carrey. Back to a real quick positive, what I liked about that is it felt like the Ghost of Christmas Future was constantly pursuing Jim Carrey to claim his soul. And if you've never seen this movie, I would recommend seeing it in 3D. I've never seen it in 3D. I own it in 2D. I would love to get a hold of it in 3D. It was made for 3D, and there are just things that I could really tell would pop a whole lot more in 3D. I don't know if it would change my perspective on the movie as a whole, but I think it would add a lot to the animation and the feel and things going on. So if you get the chance to catch it in 3D, I'd say catch it in 3D. So I would give it a good recommendation this Christmas season as a fun Christmas movie to watch. It does have a darker tone. Some scenes might scare your kids a little bit, so maybe for a little older kids, but that's really up to you. Personally, I give this movie an A-, and I give it that because I obviously own it on Blu-ray, and I usually watch it every year. It has a good rewatchability factor for me, so that's why I give it an A-. If you saw this movie, what are your thoughts? And while you're there in the comments letting me know what your thoughts on this movie are, what's your favorite Christmas movie? Let me know that. Hit that subscribe button and become a Durbanian and be on top of all the new videos coming out here. Like, I'm gonna do a review on the movie Scrooged, which is one of my favorite classic movies from the past, favorite classic Christmas film. I can't wait to get into that. And I'm gonna read way too much into Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, getting all pumped up for the release of Rogue One, but I'm not doing that alone. Sean Chandler from the channel Sean Chandler Talks About, he's gonna be joining me, and we are gonna read way too much into The Force Awakens together. So if you haven't checked out his channel, check out his channel right now. It's an awesome channel, and then be here December 11th when he joins me here. So hit the subscribe button, be on top of all of that. I'm Durbin. Thank you for checking out Durbania.